Welcome to Germany versus USA. Today, we're going to talk about the police.
We have one or two police agencies here.
A couple, a few.
Maybe 1,000 or 2,000, or 3,000 or 4,000.
Or what is it, like 17,000?
17,000 different police agencies.
Which makes it really hard as a foreigner when you're in the States to figure out where you can do what or you're not supposed to do what. So let's name a couple of them.
So you have like the big boys. You have like the CIA,
right?
And then under the CIA, and that's Central Intelligence Agency, and then you have like under that, NSA. People hear about that. And then you have like the FBI.
And the NSA is probably also going to hear.
Yeah, NSA is listening right now. But then you got the FBI. Then you have, let's see.
State police.
You have U.S. Marshals. You have
County police.
Homeland Security, ATF, which ATF is alcohol, tobacco, firearms.
Right.
ABC, which is alcohol beverage control.
Right.
You have sheriffs. DEA, Drug Enforcement Agencies.
Campus police, for university campuses.
Right, you do have university police. You have
the donut police to make sure that the donuts are of good quality.
And you have like organizations too, like the TSA for like in the airports,
mm-hmm.
and so you have lots of different types,
agencies.
But the biggest thing is when you're dealing with like state police or
mm-hmm.
county police, and each state is different too, and so the laws in the states change. But the way they're policed is pretty much the same,
mm-hmm.
but you can run into some differences and some jurisdiction issues. Like, I know a guy who got a DUI.
So driving under the influence, so he was drunk while driving.
Right. And when he got his DUI, he made just some stupid decisions. And he gave his brother's ID to the cop.
Okay.
And then he pretended to be his brother. And then they figured it out. And so he got arrested and got hit with big penalties. Like,
mm-hmm.
I mean, we're in real trouble. And so basically, when his lawyers and everything got involved, it came down to the fact that a sheriff had pulled him over out of his jurisdiction.
Out of the sheriff's jurisdiction?
Right.
Okay.
And so, but he had broken so many laws, they weren't going to just let him go. So it's not like in Hollywood where you're like, oh, he's completely out of his jurisdiction, we're throwing this case.
Okay.
It doesn't exactly work that way. He had to plead down to just the DUI.
Okay.
And then then they let everything else go.
Everything else was dropped, like
right.
False document, whatever the kind of thing
right,
charged
yeah.
him with. Okay.
And so, but you do, you'll see in movies here, like the CIA and the FBI would be fighting over stuff.
Who's responsible? Who's supposed to take the case? Right.
Right. And city metro police, because they'll have different units fighting or stuff. It's really not that way.
Okay.
It's more they're pretty organized.
Okay.
They're on top of their stuff.
Okay. Jurisdiction in Germany, I don't think it's that big of a deal. We have a couple of different polices. We have the I guess normal Schutzpolizei, which is the police that you see on the road. Then you have the Kripo, Kriminalpolizei, which is more for more severe cases, I guess. You have the Bundespolizei, which is for also border patrol, and you have the Autobahnpolizei. But really, you mostly only see the one guys around, basically the one police. Whereas if you walk around an American city, you will see different kinds of cop cars every once in a while, right? And the jurisdiction also, I don't think that's that big of a deal. Whereas in the US, you really gotta, as a foreigner, it's really difficult because first, the states all have different laws, right?
Right.
And then you never know who is responsible for doing what or what you cannot do. Where it's really, really complicated to figure that one out.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger deal to break a law in Texas than it may be in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Why?
So what's up in Texas, huh?
So you have, different, each state's different, especially when you're in the South, more conservative part of the country. Breaking a law is a bigger deal than if you're in a different part of the country. And breaking a law is still a big deal, but
right.
It's governed a little stricter, more strict down here.
Yeah. But also, I was just thinking, because you said your buddy who got the DUI, he was arrested, right? So he went to jail for a night or something? Or?
Yes, and then for a couple of nights. While they were figuring out what was going on.
Right, you will get arrested in the States fairly fast for I guess for German standards. If you want, in order to get arrested in Germany for a couple of nights, you probably need to cut someone's head off or something. I don't know, arm, because like if you get a DUI, you will not get arrested for that. I mean, they give you a ticket or something, and they ask you to take a cab or anything. But to get arrested in Germany, you gotta do something severe.
You can get booked pretty quick here.
Get booked?
Yeah.
Okay, that means to get arrested, I guess.
Yeah. So like to get processed, to get in the database, and you know.
And also, you guys like to taste things. And like
yeah. No, and that brings me to a question. So because like our police, they'll have a taser,
right.
They'll have a gun, maybe two,
atomic bomb, right?
They'll have a billy club, but in Germany you'll see. I guess it just kind of depends, but you don't see police with guns as often as you do here.
I mean, I think within cities they usually also have a gun, or they'll have pepper spray. But I guess it's perhaps not that in your face, and they don't use it as often. I read an article the other day that it was actually an American article, and they were stunned by how little bullets are used by the German police. It was about the year 2011, and in the year of 2011, the entire German police force used 85 bullets.
85?
85.
That's
half of those were just like warning shots, basically.
Yeah, that's like a morning on an LA beat. I mean,
what you doing over there? What you doing?
I have no idea what the American number is.
Yeah,
it's way more than 85.
And I think like German policemen, whenever they use their firearms, they have to write a huge report about how they used it, where they used it, and German police, they don't use the firearms very often.
Yeah, I know in the U.S. you're supposed to like write a report, same thing.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, way more often.
Mm-hmm. It's also because there are more guns around.
Yeah, and I think too with that, like the way like the Germans police, like the first time I went to Germany, I'll be honest, I was 18. I was coming in from Poland. I'd never been to Germany before, and really didn't know anything about Germany at that point in my life. And except like the stuff you hear about like World War II.
Oh, nice.
You had really good
so like,
so I'm coming in from Poland and coming to Germany, and the German police get on the train, and I was very nervous. And but then spending time in learning more. Really, I've never had a problem with a German police officer, or been harassed by one or anything. And same with the American police. Like if you're not being like a slappy, they're gonna just leave you alone.
Yeah, I've had good experiences. The only, I guess, mediocre experience I had was in 2006, I guess, when I went to the United States the first time, Homeland Security at the airport, going through customs or immigration. They were really, they took like half an hour to investigate me, went through my laptop, went through my emails. That was the only time where I felt a little insecure. But besides, I guess that was because I had a visa and they want to make sure I'm not like, immigrating or like doing something weird here. But besides that, it was all good. Like I had good experiences.
I got nervous coming back into Germany once because I may or may not have ever stayed.
Couple days.
And when I was coming in, I was worried about getting flagged. And then they were like, nope, welcome back.
Hello, American.
Yeah.
Come in.
Yeah. So I was like, yes.
Buy some sauerkraut and have a license.
Yeah.
The German police is organized by state, so the 16 German states they're responsible for each of their police basically. And what you might see actually, you will see some police officers in parts of the countries that will have the black uniform, kind of a little bit like the American style uniform, I guess. And then in some states, I think it might just be actually Bavaria left, they will have like a really nice looking yellow mustard kind of colored uniform. So they're all police, basically, but they have just different kind of uniforms, I guess.
Do y'all have undercover police?
I'm sure, but I think they use undercover people like for certain investigations, I guess. I mean, the Autobahnpolizei, for instance.
Yeah, I'm thinking more because we have unmarked police cars, right. Where they can pull you over, and so...
Yeah, they can do that, the Autobahnpolizei. They will do that, yeah. And, they were sitting in there, had like cameras or whatever. But... and then, again, for like special investigations, I guess they'll do that, but you don't run into them very often, and then, of course, you wouldn't know if you run into them because they are undercover, so I guess, I don't know, I don't think that much.
Yeah, we do a little bit. In some organizations, depending on what state you're in, maybe like the ABC, like may come into a bar and then
ABC was what again?
Alcohol beverage control.
Okay.
And they'll come into a bar and just walk up to you and ask you for your ID.
Oh yeah.
And then like if you're underage, they'll hit you with like a MIP, which is a minor in possession.
Okay.
And so, but
a lot of abbreviations going on. Also.
Yeah. So, but yeah, for the most part, our police are uniformed, and there's lots of different uniforms because of so many.
So what's the what do people think of the police? Is it like a highly regarded job or not?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think whenever you're in like that type of position, you're gonna have like some pushback. I mean, civil rights movement, some stuff that went on in LA in the 90s.
Right.
I mean, they haven't always been on the right side of things.
Right.
But overall, I've never had a problem with any of the police.
Mm-hmm.
And just thinking back in like recent memory, and I say recent memory, like 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, nothing like jumps out at me that's like a police story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you have to have a college degree and a lot of training and
In order to become a policeman.
right. But yeah, they've had some rough patches in their history for sure.
Right. I'm just thinking in Germany, I think the reputation is probably not great. But my personal experience is if you run into them, they are very like nice. They're very well behaved. As you said, it takes a lot of training to become a policeman, often a college degree. But the other side of that is when there are protests, for instance, if you have like the right-wing party, the NPD, protesting, you will always have like a way bigger crowd counter-protesting.
Mm-hmm.
And basically you have these two crowds, and in between is the police who's just basically trying to protect them from one another. And they often have to take the hit. So you will have a lot of that going on, and that's where the police is actually being confronted with a lot of violence. And that's happening, every couple of months usually. I live in Hamburg, and it's been recently, there's been a lot of fights going on in that city. So they're being exposed to violence from that side, I guess.
We don't protest nearly as much as y'all do. Like
It's
this,
true.
yeah. So you'll obviously have that in a protest, but also I think our willingness to use rubber bullets and tase and tear gas
Kind of shut the protest very early down.
Yeah, so we don't have nearly as much pushback as like you'll see in Germany because people don't protest over stuff nearly as much.
It's true.
My advice, when you come to the United States, if you run into police, don't lie to them and don't run from them.
And if you happen to have a donut, that's fine. Will they be offended a little bit, perhaps? Huh?
I would imagine so.
Okay, well then don't do it.
Y'all take it easy.
Cheers.